Hello, Commanders fans. Today we have some hot news that you can't miss, so get ready because there's a lot of important information coming your way. Before we begin, we'd like to take this opportunity to subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and stay up to date on all the news about our Washington Commanders. Don't forget to leave a like, which greatly strengthens our community and helps bring this content to the most passionate fans of the team. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Commanders eyeing the perfect free agent after surprising release. A new name for the list of finalists. It's clear that General Manager Adam Peters wants to improve the options for pressuring the Washington Commanders' opposing quarterback this offseason. And with money available to invest in free agency, it's time to be aggressive. Peters will have a list of potential targets in the free agent market who may or may not make it to the market. The front office leader will also be keeping an eye on league developments, with possible options emerging as soon as they are released to alleviate pressure on the salary cap. This is a more fluid situation, but there is a new target to be won that justifies a more in-depth discussion among those in power. The Commanders are expected to add Bradley Chubb to their list of candidates after his contract with the Dolphins was terminated. According to NFL journalist Jordan Schultz, the Miami Dolphins are releasing edge rusher Bradley Chubb, a two-time Pro Bowl selection. The restructuring of his contract made this a real possibility at some point during the preseason. Now, the AFC East club has opted to pay a considerable amount of dead cap to ensure financial flexibility in the future. The Dolphins will assume $23.85 million in termination costs by making Chubb expendable. There are concerns about injuries, but the former North Carolina State star played a full 17-game season in 2025, managing 8.5 sacks under difficult circumstances. Perhaps most important for the Commanders is Chubb's experience in a 3-4 formation. This is the formation most experts believe Washington is moving towards under new defensive coordinator Durante Jones. For this gamble to succeed, the options at their disposal need to be significantly improved. Chubb will be 30 years old before the start of 2026. This will certainly worry fans, especially considering the failure of Peters' veteran-focused strategy last season. Even so, there are enough indications that the player chosen in the first round of the 1918 draft could shine next season. Normally, players need a full year to recover their physical form after a long-term injury. Chubb will be stronger and more confident in 2026. The flashes of talent were enough to suggest that a productive year may be on the way, and he seems to fit perfectly in Washington, within a scheme that will know how to maximize his abilities. Signing Chubb won't solve all the problems, and the Commanders wouldn't be the only ones interested in this scenario. They have enough money to make a decent offer to the player. He would also be a likely focal point on defense, something he might not get elsewhere. Washington Commanders advised to sign WR2's premium option after shocking release. The Washington Commanders could make a far worse choice than pairing Terry McLaurin with Tyreek Hill in their receiving corps. These are two former NFL All-Pro players with something to prove, catching passes from one of the NFL's elite young quarterbacks, Jayden Daniels, and it could work. That's why Mo Moton of Bleacher Report believes the Commanders should act quickly to sign Hill after his surprising release from the Miami Dolphins. Although Hill is nearing the end of his career, he could be an excellent option as a second receiver behind Terry McLaurin, who should be the focal point of new offensive coordinator David Blow's offense, Moton wrote. After a bad season marked by injuries, quarterback Jayden Daniels could put up impressive passing numbers in a comeback season with the McLaurin-Hill duo on the perimeter. Hill suffered a horrific injury in Week 4. Hill has arguably been the NFL's best elite receiver of the last decade and will most likely end up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame after his career ends. The debate now is whether he can even come close to that level after suffering the first serious injury of his career in 2025, when he dislocated his left knee and tore several ligaments, including the ACL,
in the Week 4 victory against the New York Jets. Selected in the 5th round, 165th overall pick by the Kansas City Chiefs in 2016 NFL Draft, Hill is a 6-time NFL All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, and named to the NFL's 2010s All-Decade Team. He was also one of the highlights for the Chiefs when they won the Super Bowl after the 2019 season, the team's first title in 50 years. Throughout the first decade of his career, Hill amassed 13,621 total yards and 95 touchdowns, including 11,362 receiving yards and 83 receiving touchdowns. He is also the only player in NFL history to score a touchdown of over 50 yards in 5 different ways: rushing, receiving, returning a kickoff, returning a punt, and returning a fumble. Big checks, big results, big headaches. The Chiefs traded Hill to the Dolphins before the 2022 season, allowing Hill access to the highest possible salary. The Dolphins offered Hill a 4-year, $120 million contract extension on the same day as the trade, and then restructured his contract to a 3-year, $90 million extension before the 2024 season. He has accumulated $146.2 million in career earnings.
The answer for the Commanders to replace Deebo Samuel is right under their noses. This could be an interesting option. The Washington Commanders will have many gaps to fill this offseason. One of them will be finding a player to complement Terry McLaurin in the passing game. For the Commanders, there may be a strong candidate hidden right in plain sight. The Commanders' contract with Deebo Samuel Sr. has been voided. This doesn't change much, as the dead value on the 2026 salary cap will be there regardless of whether he renews or not. However, it seems unlikely that the former San Francisco 49ers player will return to Washington with a new contract. In this scenario, the Commanders need to find a suitable replacement. Washington should look for someone younger, less well-known, and more skilled on the field. The ideal target would be a wide receiver who is already very familiar with life in the NFC East. The expectation is that the Commanders will replace Deebo Samuel with Wan'Dale Robinson, who will enter the free agent market. Matt Johnson of Sportsnot published free agency predictions on some of the league's top wide receiver options. The analyst pointed out that Washington will make a bold signing: Wan'Dale Robinson, who is coming off a stellar season with the New York Giants. We expect the Washington Commanders to invest heavily this offseason, using the 2026 NFL Draft to bolster Dan Quinn's defense, while also bringing in immediate impact players to support Jaden Daniels in NFL free agency. Wan'Dale Robinson, coming off a season with over 1,000 yards, is an excellent slot receiver who averaged 7.2 yards per target in 2025 and excels at creating quick separation. He will complement Terry McLaurin very well and allow Washington to use its top 10 pick on an edge rusher. Matt Johnson, Sportsnot. After a standout season, Robinson will be one of the most coveted free agents in the class. According to SpotTrack, his market value is projected at $17.64 million per season on a 4-year, $70.56 million contract. This puts him only behind George Pickens, Jawan Jennings, and Alec Pierce among free agents, and ahead of Samuel. General Manager Adam Peters should be willing to take that risk. The Commanders have $74.55 million in salary cap space, the 5th largest in the league. They could raise that amount to over $100 million with new signings. Even having won only 5 games in 2025, they need to operate like a team aiming to return to the playoffs. This is the AOW for Peters to spend a lot of money while quarterback Jaden Daniels is still on his rookie contract. The only problem